Hello, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Monday. Thank you very much for being here. We have a fun Monday market update for you today, as we do every single week. We're going to go over all of these sets that I feel are relevant to talk about some cards, some different sealed products, that type of thing. So go ahead, get your coffee, tune in, relax, and let's get started. So I think it's fitting to start with arguably the best set of the Scarlet and Violet era. In many people's minds, 151, I think, comes to mind, given the nostalgia of Generation 1 and the quality of the arts. With that being said, not a lot to report, really, on a lot of Scarlet and Violet sets in general. 151 is relatively flat, as pretty much everything is in the space right now. Stocks are flat, Bitcoin is down or flat even. And if you've been paying attention for the past few weeks in the Pokemon space, things are a little bit less liquid than before, and seeing a little bit of a retracement, I would say 10 to 20% across the entire hobby, generally speaking. So, 151 is a set that I think is good to prioritize during this time. When you look at bundles, Blooming Waters, we're looking at packs. I think the Elite Trainer box is at 400. For me, that feels incredibly expensive. I just don't see the liquidity being there for something like this right now. I think you'd be better off buying bundles, which are more liquid and probably a better deal, all things considered. I think the bundle display for 1500 is actually worth looking at if things continue to move south. That's an area that I'll be looking personally. But yeah, not a lot to report on for this set. It's gonna see some movement here over the next year, especially as it rotates out in April. We have a 4-pack Costco bundle coming, I think, next month, and it's retailing for like $35. So that's 4 mini tins, similar to the 5 mini tins, but 4 for some reason. So keep a lookout for that. Ever wondered what your collection is worth? Well, the Shiny app is here to help. It allows you to track all the prices of your products and updates 2 times per day. The Shiny app pulls data from both eBay and TCG Player to keep your collection's value as accurate as possible. Not to mention, it has the most seamless user interface in the game. I love using it. I love how it looks. It's so easy to use. And the best part is, it is totally free. The links are down below if you'd like to try it out. Thanks again, Shiny. Next, let's talk about Prismatic Evolutions. Arguably the best play in the market still. I think that's still the case. ETBs are going for about 140. Booster bundles going for about 60, but you can find bundles a little bit more easily right now. If you look on your local marketplaces, it seems like ETBs have dried up, but booster bundles are relatively plentiful. They're still coming out in vending machines at the moment. So you can find these guys 45, 50 bucks all day long, which I think is honestly a pretty good play in my opinion. I just bought one myself. Lucario, Tyranitar, I think the waves at Sam's Club have stopped for now. It doesn't seem like we're getting a ton of Prismatic at the moment. There's no announcements for upcoming releases. Even in a downturn, slight bearish market, we'll call it. I mean, it's still a bull market, let's be honest, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I think the best sets will prevail, and I think Prismatic is a top 2 demanded set. So sets with the highest demand. And we've seen time and time again, doesn't matter what releases do to the set, it just continues to be purchased at a degree that we've never really seen before, I would say, for any other set. And people just go out of their way to continue to buy it, continue to rip it. Probably the most popular set on Rip and Shipping. So don't be surprised if prices move up for Prismatic in the short term here. As long as there's not any significant drops coming, at least over the next month. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes on it. The actual cards themselves are continuing to retain a lot of their value. Umbreon is still closer to, I would say, 1100. As well as the other Evolution SIRs continuing to just march up in price. Like the Espeon was 200 like a month ago. And now it's pretty comfortably like 230 dollars, give or take. And the PSA 10 and the Umbreon, which we talked about yesterday on the stream, is actually moving up in price, which is pretty interesting to see. So it really hasn't experienced any dip. I mean, for the longest time, it was like 4,000. It's still selling quite frequently in that range. We have some random sales in June for, or not random, but back in June, it was like 26. And then since then, it's just moved up. You know, October 17th, 4,000. September, 3,900. So a little bit lower then, but past couple of weeks, 4,000, 4,400, 4,100, 42, 4,600, 4,000, 4,000, and it just keeps going. I guess if you get a rare graded card, you put it on your card, you get to sell it for a premium. It seems brilliant to me. Like a couple extra $100, I don't know, but yeah, pretty crazy to see with Prismatic. So expect big things going forward for Prismatic. Mega Evolution, we got to tap into here. You know, booster boxes are sitting, I would say, about 278. Seems right to me. And I think they'll probably continue to drop a little bit in the short term. It seems like the second wave is just beginning to hit. My understanding, distributors are getting that second wave, which is expected to be about 40% of the initial release. And I'm seeing some boxes hit vending machines too, from what I can tell. So, you know, Mega Evolution, obviously it's the newest set, continues to be the best, the most profitable set to open from an ROI perspective, even at elevated prices. So expect demand to be there. I mean, it's brand new. Gold cards, some great SARs. There's a lot to love here. So for me, like, I'm not buying boxes near 300 right now, but I would consider buying them if they continue to drop to 250 or under for sure. Would be probably a pretty solid buy. You know, the PCTBs are still holding value. The Lucario keeps moving up, even though I think the Gardevoir is the better promo with the Alakazam, the Riolus, and the Lucario. I guess the Lucario is cooler to display because more people like Lucario, I'm assuming. I don't know. If you guys know anything, let me know. But or maybe the Riolu's a little bit harder to grade. I don't see any evidence of that. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and mute this really quick. With that being said, Mega Evolution, you know, cards are probably going to continue to drop, especially as we get way more products in that Mega Charizard UPC, and some other collection boxes and all types of things, especially in this holiday season. You know, don't be rushing in to buy these singles to speculate. Buy them to grade, pull them. That's the play here for Mega Evolution, and keep an eye on the booster boxes. White Flare, I want to talk about just for a second. You know, set value 2,700, actually quite high. For reference, Surging Sparks is like 1,300. So a lot of the illustration rares, I mean, each one is individually is actually quite hard to pull, but you know, they're holding their value. It continues to be relatively popular, I would say. Still finding it on shelves here and there without too much pain. Reshiram, monochromatic cards holding value. Black Bolt a step ahead, obviously. Zekrom actually moving up in price, now up to 241, roughly, which is pretty impressive to see. Genesect, Kyurem, all these SIRs are just holding their normal value. Seismitoad, just shy of 200. And I think actually ETBs, you know, we've gotten a lot on Walmart recently and other locations like vending machines and locally, but, you know, if Journey together, ETBs can bounce from MSRP to, and they're now like, what, $83? I think Black Bolt ETBs are probably a pretty decent buy at MSRP. I think the same goes for the bundles. We're probably going to see a Unova collection box soon. But honestly, I think Black Bolt is undervalued, a bit slept on. $3,000 set value. Great SARs to chase in a whole cohort of illustration rares to go along with it. Even though it's not everybody's most favorite gen, the Kyurem, the Zekrom, Superior, Haxorus, Seismitoad, monochromatic cards, it's enough for me. Moving on, Destined Rivals. Booster boxes are still sub 400, but being bought up. I mean, over the past week, obviously we had the Pokemon Center drop. Not really much has changed, but as for the stronger sets, as support, as the price drops, support continues to increase, which is why we see, you know, increased sales volume Still over the last month, 200% sell-through rate. That's incredibly healthy. October 11th dropped to 375. Well, they just got bought up, so now they're probably closer to 380, 390. Locally, probably a bit similar. The Destined Rivals continues to be a beast. Continues to experience upwards momentum, given the quality of the set. It's generational. Surging Sparks, as you know, I've been buying. I have some boxes behind me right here. As you can see, buying them for about 240 each. Same thing. Liquidity is there. They're hitting the local markets. They're being bought up pretty quickly. 225 to 240, 250 even. But yeah, peaked at 300 at the end of September. Big wave came in. Vending machines probably going to be seeing more for the next few weeks. But the sell-through is still there as well. But the difference is there's way more listed because it seemed like that was a much bigger kind of a reprint, I should say, or a restock, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. A lot more products. So there's currently 1,100 listed, up to $310. So I expect this box to probably get to $300 at some point in the next month or two, and then probably chill there for quite a bit of time as the boxes get absorbed. So Surging Sparks, still a good buy, in my opinion. Charizard UPC, we haven't talked about it in a while, but selling for 430 or 420. It's basically a Sword and Shield ETF of all the good sets with the 3 Charizard promos. So it's a great product. They're still pretty liquid, I think, even at this price. And if you buy them now, I almost guarantee you they'll be more expensive in a year by a significant amount. So it's a great product. Definitely one to have in your collection. The promos, especially, I like all 3 promos. I think none of them are bad. I think they're all great. My favorite's the Sleepy one. But yeah, great product here. Celebrations, we're 30th anniversary is probably going to be in about a year from now, mid to late 2026. Is what we can expect, probably September or something, roughly. So, I think there's plenty of time for this box to find more of a floor. I mean, over the past week, we had a little bit of a buyout, 28 sold at 240. So a lot of support at this price point. And I definitely expect the ETBs to be up. Same with PC ETBs and really the rest of the products. But, if you can find a regular ETB at a pretty good price, closer to 200 bucks, you're going to be doing pretty well. So yeah, let's continue into Sword and Shield. As you know, you're seeing a lot of talks on YouTube right now about the best boxes of Sword and Shield being good investments, and I actually absolutely agree. Been talking about it myself, really since the inception of this channel. I have always said Sword and Shield boxes are good because they're out of print, and the quality of the alt arts. And since then, alt arts have boomed. Prices have continued to move up, right? And Brilliant Stars, Charizard Chase, great trainer gallery, sub 500. It's a no-brainer. Silver Tempest, one of the best alt arts of the entire era in the Lugia, and a pretty decent couple of cards to support it with the Rayquaza trainer and the Blaziken trainer. Pretty solid. Closer to 400 bucks at a card show seems like a no-brainer to me. Lost Origin continuing to move down or stagnate. Well in the 700s at this point. And probably still finding a bottom still, just because it's $300 more than those other sets, and it's really not that much better. I know it has the Shinji Giratina in there, but if you compare it 1-to-1 to Silver Tempest, like, Silver Tempest is arguably better, in my opinion. I love the Aerodactyl. I think the Giratina is great, and it's a Shinji Giratina. I get it, but it's like, that Lugia is pretty incredible too, so I don't know. Like, all of these boxes, we all agree that they're all going to be $1,000. Like, Chilling, same story. It's a bit weaker because it doesn't have that big chase card. Fusion sub 1,000, closer to 9. This is a set that, like, I'd be willing to pay the extra couple bones for, just because the Gengar, the Espeon, the Muse, it's the second best booster box, and it's really not even close in my opinion. Evolving Skies, like, products are continuing to find some support here. Booster boxes are selling closer to 2,000 locally, but still some sales in the 24 range. Not a ton of recent sales though. So really, Sword and Shield is kind of in this state of downward price discovery. Of where they're actually staying pretty stable, but like we're still waiting to see what happens with these, which pretty much means it's a good buying opportunity because at some point that staircase, the buyouts are going to hit as they continue to remain at these prices. And Evolving Skies is best in class, and for good reason. And you know, the alt arts are so expensive, continuing to move up. It's a beast. So yeah, pretty cool. Crown Zenith, I think, is actually being supported pretty well. It's, you know, sitting around 220, that range for regular ETBs, 230 even. And actually pretty decent sales volume. Currently 78 listed up to 277, 48 sold in the last month. And for Crown Zenith, given the amount of product out there, like that's actually a pretty good ratio for sell through. So, you know, it just continues to kind of be the beast that it's been over the last year, where it hasn't seen like huge jumps up, but it just trickles up and up and up because it's a great ROI set to rip. It's fun to rip. Everybody loves Crown Zenith. The card list is just, it's probably second to none as far as quality goes. So, I mean, all these products are going to keep moving up. Packs are going to keep moving up. Wouldn't be surprised if the cards move up as well. Nothing crazy though, just because of the supply, but yeah, up 300% over the last year. I don't expect the 300% gain over the next year, but you know, it is out of print, and it is a beast of a set, so who really is to say? I mean, look at these cards. Giratina has repassed the Mewtwo V-Star. I think the Mewtwo dropped. But the Arceus Dialga, the Palkia, as well as, I mean, just here's a reminder. You got the Dogs, Mew, some evolutions going on. Darkrai, the Deoxys, which a lot of people like. It's very stylized, very like trippy and groovy, whatever. But yeah, I mean, even like the Lapras, like Latias, the Lumineon, whatever. This Deoxys card is sick. So yeah, I mean, great set. I want to end by looking at some recent auctions sold on Probstein. So this is just one consignment service. I think they're actually moving away from eBay relatively soon. Not sure why, but probably has to do with money. So, a lot of Chinese exclusive cards still being sold. I know the Gengar one's out there. Pikachu in it. 6 Destined Rivals boxes. Not even the mintiest boxes ever. 2,200. A Cosmic Eclipse ETB. Look, we talk about liquidity in this space for ETBs and other products, but consignment and, you know, eBay, like these are huge marketplaces with a ton of buyers. So, you know, getting greater than 85% on a sale for a Cosmic Eclipse ETB, like somebody's going to buy that out in the world. So, you know, again, the best sets prevail. Best sets prevail. They'll always be relatively liquid, in my opinion. Lost Origin, 6 loose boxes. Definitely a bit more minty, 4,100. How they evolved, Steel Case, 2,300. Not a terrible deal. City in Flames, Twilight Masquerade, Stellar Crown. Like, people are buying, man. People are buying. Gold Stars, you know, Gold Stars have slowed down a little bit, it seems like. 2 White Flare booster bundle display cases, $9.95. That's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. $1,000 for 2 of these? $50 a bundle? That seems pretty solid. Am I crazy? I guess it doesn't have... They're not super minty. They're pretty loose, but there's no Black Bolt to compare or to complete it. But pretty good deal on the White Flare bundles, in my opinion. 5,700 fusion case. Got some cards here. Some mid-era stuff. Pretty cool to see. Bubble Mew 1,600 dropped from 2,000. Still a lot of support though. A lot of Japanese Sunbreon, you know, perfect grades are doing well. Cosmic Eclipse Team Up 8,200. Cosmic 3,900. Definitely a little bit of a retracement on some of these Sun and Moon sets, as well as everything else. They're just so expensive, but not a ton of supply, so they'll probably move up at some point. 47 sleeved packs of Evolving, 2,200. As long as rip and shipping continues to do what it does, you know, the bottom will be further and further away as time goes on. Pretty incredible, this space. The deflationary product. 4,200. PSA 10 Sunbreon. Just graded mine myself. Got a 10. Pretty happy about it. Probably heard. I'm sorry. Lugia 1100. Oops, didn't mean to click on it. PSA 10 Roaring Moon 927. Beautiful card. Absolutely love it. Mega Evolution case 1675. Destined Rivals booster bundle 25 boxes. Case Burning Shadows. And this is all yesterday. So it's like there's a ton of money being spent. Evolving clean box with an acrylic 2400. Not too bad. There's the Black Bolt 1400 for that. I mean, that's really what people want, you know. But 2 white flare 995. That's a pretty good deal. I would have bought that myself. Why not? 2300 Team Up ETB. These are still liquid. I don't care what anybody says. It's Team Up. Supply is so low. 1,000 for a prismatic sealed case. Great deal. Box is pretty scuffed. So a lot of damaged products are being sold right now. It seems like people are liquidating collection boxes. They're liquidating damaged products or trying to. So probably a good time to do that. Evolving 2000. It's probably more in line with the market, in my opinion. Umbreon. Moonbreon. 3600 PSA 10. Crazy. The Pikachu, everybody's least favorite Pikachu of all time. Well, PSA 10 sells for 1200. It is what it is. Whether you like it or not, it's still selling. I guess there are a bunch of people that still like it. 100 prismatic bundles for $5,700. Crazy work. Probably a Rip and Shipper bought this. They'll probably double their cost on that. So pretty insane. Generations is doing well. 24. That was selling for 1900 not too long ago. For the ETB. Silver Tempest 31. Decent deal in my opinion. Yeah, just a bunch of other products here. I'm not gonna have to go through all of them, but I'll just do some scrolling. I have some I still have some Sword and Shield regular ETBs. I'm probably gonna trim off my position later in the year, earlier next year. TBD on that. I'm up so much on them. It's probably a good time to do. 4 Silver Tempest for 1775. It's more Chinese and all that. So look, like, yeah, I think liquidity is a little bit harder right now in this market. You're seeing people sell collection boxes, taking some profits. It's a good time to do that. Definitely encouraged. Also a great buying opportunity in Surging, Destined, in my opinion. Especially Sword and Shield booster boxes. Great buying opportunity at the moment. Especially if you have the conviction for that era like I do. I believe all those boxes will be $1,000. Everybody else is saying it. I completely agree. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to be said. We got some drops coming out. Covered that in the last couple videos. Still a lot of money being spent in this space. Rip and Shipping continuing to prop it up. Vendors are struggling more. Buying cards, not willing to take the losses quite yet. It seems like nobody's willing to take the losses quite yet. That might change. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, what you've seen out there. Thank you again to the Shiny app. Half of you are subscribed, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you watching. If you enjoy the content, consider subscribing because it helps me out a lot. Liking the channel, liking the video, all the things. I don't really say it that often, and I should say it more because it actually works to say it. So thank you again. Congrats to the giveaway winner on the White Flare booster bundle yesterday. I'll be sending out to you that out to you this week, my friend. Guys, be safe out there. Be disciplined. And look for good opportunities. Just have conviction in the space long term. That's the key. That's the key. You won't get shaken up too much in the short term. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.